It might sound weird, but it's been the extreme gift for me and my brother. We've gotten to grow as people because of this situation, and I don't thank God every day that I lost my dad, but I thank God every day for the lessons that I got to learn.
Thanks again for meeting with us, by the way.
Oh no, I don't. I have other stuff to do, but I'm gonna procrastinate it anyway. So just be realistic with myself. So I'm Tucker Redden. I'm a sixth-year senior catcher for Texas State baseball. I'm also an MBA student in the McCoy College of Business at Texas State. I am from Rockport, Texas, small coastal town about 20 minutes north of Corpus Christi. Grew up, my dad was a fishing guide, mom was a real estate agent. Have one older brother, Tim Redden Jr. Just grew up in the outdoors a lot in Rockport, hunting and fishing and playing baseball with my older brother. So that's how I grew up. It's basically the same now as it was then. I watched my brother play so many times that I always dreamed about my day of being on the diamond and getting in between those lines.
Ruining. Something we'll talk more about here tonight. That ball hit towards right, back to base hit. Sheffield heads to the plate, and Tucker Redden has delivered against his former team. The Bobcats strike first.
He's a very passionate player. You know, he's going to play with his energy and his effort, and so that's one thing he's going to bring every single day. And so you can see he's fiery, he's competitive. When we win, he's happy, and when he loses, he's really, really mad. And so it's what makes him a great player, is that he's very super competitive in everything he does. I'm Stephen Trout, head baseball coach here at Texas State. Second year as a head coach, and it'll be my 6th year back from my second journey here, and I believe it's my 8th year overall at Texas State. Yeah, so first time I met Tucker, he was on a recruiting visit. He was transferring from Houston to actually come to be a pitcher here. And so I got to meet him and his mom on his visit, and took him around campus and got to meet him then. And just seemed like a great guy overall, you know, just from the get-go, very respectful, was very determined on what he wanted to do, and he was making a big transition in his life from being a catcher to being a pitcher. And so that was a new challenge for him, but you could tell he was dedicated to make that happen. And so, spent a couple hours with him that day, and got to know him and his family, and then the rest is history.
I am Tammy Redden, and I am Tucker Redden's mom. Tucker was always a very active child. He's always loved baseball. Tucker has an older brother, Tim Redden Jr. Tim is just 2 months shy of 7 years older than Tucker, and Tucker grew up at the baseball park. As soon as he could walk, he had this, he loved catching. He loved catching. So I would get up from my chair watching his brother play baseball and throw the ball to him, and he'd catch it. So he's always loved baseball from a very early age.
And could you tell us where that love of baseball came from?
Well, of course, their dad was a baseball player and huge Astros fan, played collegiate baseball as well. So I think that when we had 2 sons, Tim couldn't have been more excited, because now he could pass on the love of baseball that he had to his boys. So I guess it was January of Tucker's junior year of high school. Their dad got sick. At the time, we were living in Houston. Very shortly thereafter, we moved back to our hometown in Rockport. Tim was not able to work, and I was his caregiver. He was very ill, and I couldn't work. And when he was in the hospital, before he had surgery, he got up one morning and he said, "I know how we're going to get through this until I can work again. We're going to sell Redden Strong t-shirts." And that's how it kind of came about, and it's stuck ever since.
It honestly probably means more now than it did then, mainly because Redden Strong has been something that's kept my dad's memory alive and very present. I wear the wristband every day. I know it's a little worn out, but every day I look at this wristband, or every day I wear a Redden Strong shirt, it's a subtle reminder of my dad and who he was. And all of us on a daily basis kind of easily lose ourselves in the everyday living, but it's something that kind of recenters me. Redden Strong, whether, like I said, it be looking at the wristband or just hearing the phrase, it makes me recenter. It makes me get back to my roots and who I am and who my dad raised me to be, as well as my mom. So that is definitely what it means to me today.
And the one thing about Tucker, for his journey, he comes home and it's not to just lay around and not to work. He has a key to our weight room. I gave him a key to the weight room because he loves to go there. And he works his butt off. I mean, he does a lot of stuff that a lot of kids don't understand how hard it is to be a college athlete. And, he comes home on his holidays and we're at the cages for 3-4 hours, hitting. And I love it. My name is Coach Tudi Elizondo. I'm the head baseball coach at Rockport Fulton High School in Rockport, Texas. My relationship with Tucker Redden is I've obviously been his coach for the 1 year that I was there. Actually, my first year in Rockport, he was a senior and he was the catcher, and I was the catching coach. So I was able to get a strong relationship with him then. And after that, when he graduated, the journey just stayed with me. I still remember, him coming to practice the day that it happened. And we were in the gym because it was raining. I remember that. And he came to practice, and we all, we were brotherhood, and we wanted to be there for him. And I knew that Redden Strong meant a lot because he came to practice. Some kids, they wouldn't want to do that, but he told us, he said, "No, I'm coming to practice. My dad would not want me to miss practice."
And I think for us, it was just about kind of the mentality that our dad instilled in us, that, no one's going to sit here feeling sorry for you, no matter how bad things in life are. You have to move forward. You have to continue living. Yeah, I'm Tim Redden, older brother to Tucker Redden. So yeah, it's crazy because now, fast forward, Tucker's basically the age I was when we lost him. And so I've got to see him grow in that time span. And it's been really cool. And it's something I'm so proud of, to see how he's matured and become a man that I just think, one of my heroes at this point. And that's really cool to see.
I've told this story very few times. My senior year of high school, I was vastly under-recruited, probably because of a lack of talent. So in the fall, during my dad's chemotherapy treatment, me and my mom would go to all these college campuses and go to showcases to try to get me recruited. And it was actually at the time that Ty was the head coach here. We came to Texas State. This was probably 42 degrees, and went through a whole day of a showcase camp and got to come home after that. And my dad was on the couch. It was a late night. And I remember him saying, how'd the camp go? And it went okay. And, I don't think that I'm quite ready for that level yet. And he said, wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be something to get to go to San Marcos and go to Texas State and play at a university like that? And that might be something worth working towards. And, fate, brought me here 5 years or 4 years into my college career, and I could not be more grateful that I got to come to San Marcos and wear these colors and wear the number 2. It's been the ultimate honor. So I'm extremely grateful for that, and extremely grateful for everything that's happened with my dad. And I think it's helped to guide me here, and for me, that's been the ultimate gift.
What makes Texas State different?
Culture, being together, being friends, being great teammates. I think that I've came from some programs where you had great players, but the culture was somewhat toxic at times, and not over competitive, because I really don't think there's such a thing, but counterintuitive to the team's goals. And I think here, Coach Trout and all of the coaches really stress us being together and always being great teammates to each other, and having, you know, a positive vibe, so to speak, is something that not every school really talks about, but it's definitely something that Coach Trout lives by and the coaching staff lives by, and our entire locker room kind of falls in line with.
And I think he's trying to, not only play well for himself, for his teammates, for Texas State, for his family, but also for his dad looking down on him. And so I think for him, he's trying to make him proud every single day.
You know, none of us are ever ready to lose a loved one. And I haven't experienced losing a parent yet, thank goodness. I've lost a spouse. And you can either take the cards that you've been dealt and make the most of it, or you can let it destroy you. And Tucker has quite a story, quite a journey. I mean, he's been to 2 different high schools, 1, 2, 3, 4 different colleges. And through it all, he's been able to come out of that Redden Strong. And he's just a great, great kid. And I couldn't be more proud. And I know his dad would feel the same way.
I am Tucker Redden, and I am Redden Strong.